you, Dr. Singh, for your kind introduction for me. I also thank President Professor Sa and the Executive Director, Professor Ching, for inviting me to this important symposium of KSP. It is my great honor to have this opportunity, and I know almost 30 years ago I have known the many Korean pharmacists. You have so great power in the politically and educationally in Korea, because I know Dr. Chingang, he received his Ph.D. in my department, in my university, and thereafter he invited me, my former professor, to Korea so often, and he took care of us very friendly, and so this is also I enjoyed to talk about these problems. I just learned you are going to the 6-year program in the pharmacy schools. Then we have started 2006 in 6-year programs, but we still retain the 4-year plus master course pharmacist schools. So we still have some problems in the future pharmacist status. So today I will talk to you about this, and I hope you will learn somewhat from my talk in your education systems. Now I will move to today's subject of my presentation. First one, the Council on Pharmaceutical Education, and the second, Japan Association of Board for Pharmaceutical Education. This will just start for the evaluation of the pharmacy schools. So this might be very fit for your this symposium. But I asked to the JAVP president that they have no time to go abroad, especially in the end of the budget year in Japan. So I have to do this work for me. So I said to the Professor Chen that I am working in the third subject, the Council on Pharmacist Credentials. So that's mainly doing the continuous pharmacist education. But anyway, you will refer to the pharmacist education and thereafter the continuous pharmacist education in the future. At first, I will talk about the Council on Pharmaceutical Education. This CPE, as you may know, this CPE has been established informally in 1958 for discussing on enrichment, improvement, and development of pharmacy education. CPE has approved to be the General Incorporated Association on 2008 and continued its role played on pharmacy education to date. And the CPE consists of the 74 pharmacy schools and colleges, and the Association of Private Pharmacist Schools of Japan, and the Japan Pharmacist Education Center, and you will know the Pharmaceutical Manufacturers Association of Tokyo and Osaka as well, and the Ministry of also supported somewhat, and also they will consist of the Hospital Pharmacist Society and the Pharmaceutical Society of Japan as well. So we also committed to this Council on Pharmaceutical Education. The project of CP was as follows: research, study, evaluation of pharmacy education, or investigation on pharmacy education curriculum. They are carrying out a workshop for pharmacy educators, and they coordinate of students' practical training. It's just in hospital and pharmacies. It's just started. We are now doing the six-year courses, so they have to take the practical training in the pharmacies and also in the hospitals, each 2.5 months. And but you will see in this slide they have evaluation of pharmacy education, but they don't have any privilege to evaluate the pharmacy school. Please remember it. So pharmacy school evaluation will be the job PE. They are just consulting or discussing the pharmacy education. So next data will be one of their jobs result, and it's also open to by the Ministry of Health and Labor and Welfare in Japan. So now I'm sorry that the data is somewhat old, but the status of the pharmacists in Japan are not so different from this data. So you will see almost half of the pharmacists are working in the community pharmacies, and then 20% will be working at the hospitals and the clinics. And mainly about 10% or more will be working at the industries, but usually those kind of pharmacists are coming from the national or private university. National or public universities. So the private university, many of the pharmacists are producing by the private university in Japan. So the university staffs are only 3.3% right now. So we have, you will see the 250,000 pharmacists right now. They are registered in the Ministry of the Health and Welfare. So I'll move to the Japan Association Board for Pharmaceutical Education. This JAB PE is now the almost responsible for the evaluation of the pharmacy schools. Okay, the inauguration of JAB PD started with the commencement of the 6-year pharmacy education system for the academic year of 2006. The Central Council of Education requested the construction of a system for, please remember that those kind of evaluation should be third-party evaluation in Japan right now. So the pharmacy education programs. So in response to the request, the examination had been carried out mainly by the Pharmaceutical Education Evaluation Review Committee. I'm not sure what's happened in this committee, but established under the University Faculty Conference for the Pharmaceutical Education Reform in the Pharmaceutical Society of Japan, that main, let's say, research society of Japan, and by the Pharmaceutical Evaluation Committee of the Association, President and the Dean of Japanese School of Pharmacy. They are going to inaugurate this JAB PD. On December 10, 2008, this JAB PE, Japan Accreditation Board for Pharmaceutical Education, was formally inaugurated as the General Incorporated Association. The pharmaceutical education curriculum comprises 6-year and 4-year courses. But for the meantime, JAB-PE will conduct the evaluation of only the 6-year pharmacist education system and contribute to the enrichment and development of pharmaceutical education and thereby aim to develop pharmacists that are important who are truly trusted by society as medical professionals, because the 6-year changes of the 6-year courses is depending on the medical progress. So the pharmacists should have to do their job to the patient and public as a drug specialist or responsible for the drug therapy or something like that. So that's the reason why the JAB-PE should have to evaluate each university pharmacy schools. And to up to date, the history of this JAB-PE, I will show you the December 2000 I told before, and then go to 2006 and 2007, and finally April 2008 formed the preparatory committee for foundation of JAB-PE. And December 2008, General Incorporated Association was formed as a JAB-PE. General Incorporated Association is a kind of association, but in contrast to my CPE, they are not public. That might be one problem. This General Incorporated Association is not public interest. So sometimes it might produce problems because we have those kind of association as a General Incorporated or public interest association or corporation or foundation. So as a third-party evaluator, it should be a public interest. I think that's my opinion. So anyway, they just started right now. So we have to start 6-year education system start on 2006, and right now it's the data on 2009. The enrolled student is like this. You will see okay, you can see in this slide that we have a 6-year program and 6-year program and 4-year program of pharmaceutical sciences. You will see the many national and public university choose a 4-year program and and also they choose 6-year program. You will know the many big universities, big name universities such as Tokyo University or Kyoto University. They choose the almost 4-year programs. Tokyo University has only 10% 6-year student or 6-year programs. As you will see in the private university, we have right now 57. It's almost double when the Japanese government announced the pharmacy school will start 6-year. So there are many new private university founded thereafter. So that's another problem here. So we right now almost you will see the over 10,000 students in the private universities. But some private university also choose the 4-year program. So I'm not sure in the future, because the many pharmacists will be produced by the private universities, and the national or public university produce only small number of pharmacists in the future. So, and another problem is that the 6-year program students cannot have eligibility to take national examination for pharmacists starting from the 2019. The students who are studying on the 4-year programs right now, they will have eligibility to take national examination after proper training for the training similarly to the 6-year courses, and also Minister of the Ministry of Health and Welfare individually accept you can take examination. You cannot. Okay, so it's another problem. But anyway, starting from 2019, 4 plus 2-year courses cannot take a national examination for pharmacists. So they cannot become pharmacists even in studying at the pharmacy schools. I hope you remember. I hope you remember. In the future, I'm not sure what has happened in the Japanese pharmacist world. Okay, this slide shows the new education of 2 courses in Japan that implemented start 2006. It's just what I told you. So some of anyway, this pharmaceutical scientist course cannot take a national examination starting from 2019. So we are now have this kind of core curriculum. Some of you remember the name of a late Kudo Ichiro of Showa University, who is a powerful leader of the curriculum setting of this kind of core curriculum. But he passed away 3 or 4 years ago, and I'm not sure how. I'm not sure. Nobody knows how he's thinking about or looking down what happened in the pharmaceutical world in Japan from the heavens. So anyway, in the core curriculum from the A, B, C, D, E, F, D, he divided into humanity and communication, introduction to pharmacy, a professional subject. This subject will be almost similar to the Korean pharmaceutical schools. And the new one, in the new one will be D1, D2, and the practice training in hospitals and pharmacy, and the pharmacy and community pharmacies. And they are also doing the graduation thesis, researching training as well. And the English will be taught throughout this 6-year program. But nowadays, last year we have finally appeared the first 6-year pharmacist in Japan. In that case, the national examination passed almost 95% graduates can pass the national examination. But in that case, many pharmacy schools maybe cannot get up some students who are not enough to pass the national examination. So the student number was almost 12,000, but the examinees were 10,000, something like this. So examinees, almost 10,000. So this coming March will be a great problem. How many graduates can take the national examination and how the percent of the passed graduates. Oh, this is a curriculum timetables like this. So this ABC, ABCC, anyway, E, F, G should have to do like this. That every pharmacy schools can follow this system, almost 70% of their program. So this is also a kind of evaluation how the schools can follow all the core curriculum as well. So again to the JAP. JAP will conduct a full-scale evaluation from 2012 last year when the 6-year pharmacy education system is completed. Before this evaluation starts, individual colleges and the faculties of pharmacy are requested to carry out a self-evaluation based on evaluation criteria and to announce the results of this evaluation as unanimously resolved by the Association of Presidents and the Deans of Japanese Schools of Pharmacy. This self-evaluation is called Self-Evaluation 21 and aims to show society through self-evaluations that colleges and the faculties of pharmacy are providing enough education to respond to the participatory practical training in hospitals and pharmacies, which is incorporated in the 6-year curriculum starting in May 2010. In self-evaluation 21st, self-evaluation reports, which include the results of self-rating, is also provided to JAB PE from each college and faculties. By analyzing these reports, JAB PE will prepare for the implementation of its evaluation activities. So they are just started the evaluation of pharmacy schools. I'm not sure right now how these are going to. So the summary plan will be like this. A March 12 briefing is to be held for future activities. And the April 2010, each university will announce to give the self-evaluation 21st. The April 20 start full-scale evaluations. You mean the third-party evaluation of pharmaceutical education. It is essential, I think, to conduct a third-party evaluation, which is a condition for securing the reasonableness of acts by pharmacy students in practical training. And as I mentioned before, the third-party evaluation is also necessary to open to the public, so the university themselves can evaluate by their own. So the third-party evaluation is necessary for those kind of systems. I think you are just talking about those kind of third-party evaluation in pharmacy schools. Anyway, you have to do in the future. But in our case, in the case of Japan, we have so many universities, pharmacy schools, and I think the JAG PE can evaluate only 10, less than 10 pharmacy schools every year. So it takes about 7 or more years to evaluate the pharmacy schools. So during that time, what was happened in each pharmacy schools, I don't know. Because in Japan right now, you may know the decreasing birth rates. So the youngsters is getting low. And so many universities, we have so many pharmacy schools. And we have almost over 12,000 graduate students can be accepted in for Japan. So if calculate it from each year's birth children, it means 1% of the each year children can get into the pharmacy schools in Japan. So that might be another problem. So anyway, the JAPD object is like this, and you'll see anyway to contribute to the medical care, public health, and welfare for Japan's citizens by conducting the fair and proper evaluation of pharmaceutical education programs, etc., in order to guarantee the quality of education provided by pharmaceutical education institutions in Japan, and thereby enriching and improving education and research activities. And now the JAPD will perform the following project across the country in order to achieve the objective set forth in the preceding articles. Evaluation of pharmaceutical education programs, and evaluation of pharmaceutical education programs, and also enrichment and improvement of pharmaceutical education programs, research and study concerning the enrichment and improvement of pharmaceutical education programs, publication of journals, academic books, etc., concerning pharmaceutical education programs. Information exchange and cooperation with various related organizations will be another project. Other project necessary to achieve the object of the JAG PE. So they have so many projects right now. I recently saw that there are descriptive items in pharmacy education syllabus like this. They mean the curriculum map, from curriculum map and to the, they have to show that such office hours in each syllabus. And they also ask to each university may something like this. Numbers of educational standards and aspects requested to be reported to JAPD. You will see the object, major object, education and study, something like this, and students, student enrollment and academic assessment and something like that, and student support service, and faculty and staffs, study environment, and social collaboration, and self-inspection and evaluation. Standards, this is a number of standards. Each university should give the standard like according to this subject, object, and also in connection to this standard, there are many aspects should be also written like this. There are many items to each university should have to written or research or study or something like this. So it's very hard work, I think. They are now great efforts to paid on these systems. And finally, they have, I'm not sure here, in the total number is locked from this volume. The standard will be 57. And total aspects should be 176. So the many data should be gathered in each university and written the reason and the aspects and something like this. I saw the self-evaluation 21st of several universities. The page number almost around 150 pages. Those kind of pages, those kind of document should be submit to the JAB PD each university, and the JAB PD people should evaluate and assess this kind of document. And finally, I'm not sure how they have to open to the result to public. It is also very great problems because if the JAB PD is open to their decision to the public, approval university will be okay. Sustained or modified, especially in the sustained university, sustained pharmacy schools, it's very difficult to gather the examinees because there's so many universities, private universities we have. So it's a kind of economical problem in this university, in these pharmacy schools. So they are still thinking about how the results of the evaluation open to the public or not. So that might you have to also to do something like this. This education program at this university is not good, so you can't get the student in the next week. If it's open to the public, nobody go to this pharmacy school. That might be happened in Japan because maybe it is a shame to say that some pharmacy school gather the students, but those students cannot graduate from the university or take the national examination, or almost half of the students cannot do. So that's another problem. So it is very important for us to evaluate and assess the pharmacy schools. It's very difficult indeed. So you have to decide how to evaluate, how to open to public to your results. If the government accepts those kind of system clearly, there's no problems. But the you have to do anyway corresponding to the government. But in this, we have in the JAB PD cannot get a strict correlation between the government, I think, right now. So I'm not sure that how they decide to their results to the open to public or just open to the evaluated schools. It is not clear. So if you're interested in the evaluation system with JAB PD, please contact to this homepage. And right now, Professor Emeritus Inoue is the director of this JAB PD, and international committee chief will be Professor Ozawa Hiroshima universities. So it's a time for my time, but I will show you a little bit to the CP in the Japan systems. Is it okay to talk about Dr. 5 minutes? Okay. Oh, this is a sorry. This is the history of pharmacy school and pharmacist national examination topics in Japan right now. Please check the red line. We have 3 big events in the pharmacy school in Japan. At first, the national examination will start in 1949. At that time, the pharmacy school should have to change their education system. And the most important thing was 1992, the amended medical care law. That means the pharmacist should be a healthcare provider. Before that, pharmacist is not categorized as a healthcare provider. So right now, the pharmacist is also included in this medical care law right now. So the many pharmacy schools, established the graduate schools for healthcare oriented graduate students. And the third one will be I'll talk to the 206 6-year education course for pharmacy school starts. And the 212, the first national examination was 6-year course graduates from the pharmacy schools. And so I will a little bit show now we are also continuous pharmacy education system in Japan. So this system is anyway the pharmacist should be a professional for their drug therapy as well. And so we are established the Council on Pharmacist Credentials. Right now I am working. That's also an independent evaluation agency, the third-party agency right now. So I will move. This our concept for the pharmacy education should be like this. On-site job training and on-site job training to continuous professional development, education, certification, renewal, education, and lifelong learning. Studying is a pharmacist should be responsible for this continuous education. And we are now doing this kind of system. We are now doing the application of the application system, and finally accredited provider will be appeared. And this is also a similar one. And this currently accredited certificates like this. This is the Japanese Women Pharmacists Society. They are doing very well, and now they have 11,000 members right now. So we are very happy to accept this Japanese Women Pharmacists Society. So right now we have almost 20 accredited providers. They are doing their education program to the public, and many private universities getting in this system. And now you will see the many certified and professional pharmacists in Japan. So there are so many professional pharmacists in Japan, but only a cancer professional pharmacist is permitted to advertise in the public. So another certified or board certified pharmacists cannot advertise by themselves. So thank you for your attention. On the occasion of KSAP meeting, I will go to the Nami Island and enjoyed very much. Thank you for your attention.